China. China is, I would say, one of the number one consumers for a lot of different material, a lot of different products that are being shipped around our country, around the world, and, pretty much everywhere else that there was another place. If Mars existed full of aliens, they would be shipping it off to Mars, I swear to God. But China, they are very involved with a lot of different actions that Americans are taking right now in the marketplace. So a lot of different jobs are, having different influences by China. And this is not a good thing. This is a very, very bad thing because, communism exists in China. If you don't know, if you're new, if you don't really understand politics, you might be younger. And if you're not really aware, China, they are not as free as America. In America, we have our rights to say what we want. We can explain our opinions, at least in, the real world, not so much online anymore, but we have our freedoms. In China, they do not have the same freedoms that we have. So there's kind of having a lot of different conflicts right now with different American companies in China just kind of, bossing everybody around. So there's a lot that I want to go over, but really I wanted to start it off with Blizzard. So if you're familiar with Blizzard, mainly I would say Hearthstone is what they're familiar with, what everybody knows them by, because even me, I'm laughing about this because I had a Hearthstone account, I created it, I haven't used it for like a year, but I did create a Blizzard account, I downloaded it on my laptop, and I was playing Hearthstone. I was playing Hearthstone with my friends, like we really thought it was really cool, and we all had our own little accounts, and we'd battle and stuff like that, and it was really fun. But, you had a professional Hearthstone player, I forgot his name, and honestly, I am not reading by a paper, I am going by memory, so I'm not gonna say this guy's name. You can look it up, but he's a professional gamer for Hearthstone, and he decided that, he wanted to be pro Hong Kong and spread a message, which is totally fine. That's fine. Express your opinions, that's my thing. Even if, okay, so how come we can have football players that aren't going to kneel during the anthem and they're going to protest, but all of a sudden, if you have somebody that's playing Hearthstone and you have video games, that they don't get the same rights? That's kind of ridiculous and a little bit messed up. It's not fair. If you play video games or if you play football, you should get the same rights. Or ping pong or something like that. Ping pong versus hockey, whatever. You should get the same rights because it should be deserve it. You shouldn't be picking and choosing. That's kind of nonsense if you're picking and choosing. There's no point to that. Blizzard said that their relationship in China had no influence on their decision, but honestly, if you look at the past, they've had an issue with the OK sign. They said the OK sign is simply, let me just flash it right now, going like this. Who cares? It means, okay, that's done, or okay, that's cool, or something like that, right? Okay means something, so obviously that's why it's a word in our English language. So why is the sign going to be banned? Shouldn't the word be banned altogether then if the sign's banned? Wouldn't that make sense? So, it's very ridiculous on what they're doing. You can't ban something like this and say that all of a sudden this is a white supremacist symbol. It's not. It isn't at all, and it's very ridiculous to say so. But moving forward, so look, we have an issue with Blizzard, but what else do we have an issue with? We also have an issue with Vans. You know why? Because apparently Vans, somebody wanted to make a pro Hong Kong, saying that they support the debates and the issues and the protests they're having there, and they said no. We're not going to approve this shoe. We're going to ban that shoe and say that it's not allowed in our store. And I thought that was really ridiculous. It was very controlling. And in America, apparently they said that you could get custom shoes online from sites like Vans or Nike or stuff like that, and you can make your own custom shoe. But what it comes down to, apparently you can't unless it goes with their own ideology. Now, there's also a South Park episode that was made, and I didn't really talk about it, but hey, okay, so the episode was made to basically make fun of China and what's going on. And South Park is now banned in China. If you're in China, I am so sorry. If you can see this video right now, it's probably banned, but if you can see this video, you're banned from watching a stupid cartoon. I mean, really, it's not the best. South Park is pretty cool, but it's not the best. Okay, so like you're not missing out on that much, but they're banning cartoons from you so that you can't understand what's going on in your own society. Now, what's going on with South Park? So they're making fun of China by controlling Disney, by controlling Winnie the Pooh, by controlling, you know, different companies that are major. Everything that people buy is basically bought from China. But for real, over time, I feel like when you look at items in the US, you start realizing over time that everything is basically owned by China. If your upbringing was in the US, I'm not lying. Your upbringing is pretty much that you see that the majority of the items say China on it, and that's just how it is apparently. But times are changing. We're Americans, we're able to make our own economy work great, and I think that right now, with the internet shining, with everything going on with our communications and how we can talk to people and everything and bring that to the next level, we're capable of doing anything that China is. So why do we need them? We do not need them. We can do a lot better. Do you know how our economy would be if we could be making literally half of the amount that China is importing all their goods to us? I know they have factories and they do it in legal ways, and that's not a way that we should be supporting anything, because honestly, whenever you get a product from China, it's really ridiculous. I mean, they do not give rights out to their people. I know that they changed a lot, and they are changing, they're developing. It's not like as bad as it was back in the day. So China itself is developing. I mean, they could have more than one kid, I think, now than they could in the past or something like that. And they're not going to get in trouble, I don't think, for spitting out gum on the ground like in Singapore and stuff like that. I don't agree with a lot that China has to say. I really don't. I don't like how they're controlling things. If you look right now, they are controlling so much. They're controlling the NBA. They're controlling, like, some days what we eat and stuff like that because of different restaurants and whatnot. And they can say if you can talk bad about them or not because of South Park. Look at, like, different cinemas. If you had a movie, you know that movie that they made about Kim Jong-un or whatever, and they're making fun of him? Can you imagine if it was reversed and it was, like, related to China? That would not exist. That's why they were making in South Park. If you watch the episode, they were making Mickey Mouse all evil and stuff like that, and that was for a reason. Like, I don't know if you guys realize sometimes they were Disney just because I make fun of it. It's a comedy, it's a joke. Disney is a joke. It's a complete joke because Disney, the company, they're so evil. It's like, replace the little satanic horns and just put up Mickey Mouse ears. That's what it is. Basically, China has too much control over the American people. People in America, like corporations, are very selfish. So when it comes to the NBA or Tiffany Co. and Vans and different companies like that, if you haven't even heard of Vans, I mean, seriously, there's so many different issues that China is creating right now. And that has to do with money. It has to do with money in America because they want to control a lot of different aspects of what they can, you know, do and stuff like that. So, I mean, whatever. You're seeing this, you're witnessing it right now, but don't fall for little side tricks. On that note, I'm gonna head out. So yeah, if you really do want to support this channel, then you can go to @livingcapone to my PayPal, or you can go to my Subscribe star @livingcapone.